Now, from the Americana in New York, Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Hollywood, Chicago, and coast to coast in Abilene, Amarillo, Atlanta, Bakersfield, Beaumont, Big Spring, Boston, Buffalo, Canton, Champaign, Charleston, Huntington, Chattanooga, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Clovis, Columbus, Dallas, Dayton, Denver, Detroit, Elmira, El Paso, Flagstaff, Green Bay, Harrisburg, Houston, Kansas City, Lafayette, Little Rock, Lubbock, Lufkin, Manchester, Phoenix, Pueblo. Coming up Labor Day weekend, a fantastic parade of stars, hour after hour of fun and excitement. Jerry Lewis's Labor Day Weekend Telethon 71, live and in color on this station. Yuma, Washington, and Youngstown, Ohio.
Though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile. Shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you light up your face with gladness.
Listen, I have a friend who loves what you do every year, and just wanted to come out. Could you send my friend out, please? Where is he? Will you come out here? Come here.
Sammy Davis Jr.
That life is still worthwhile.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for the lovely words. Charlie, would you bring that up?
Just smile.
A little less than a year ago, I posted a video on the decline of the long national atrocity that was called until recently the Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon. On its senile, morally challenged chairman and master of ceremonies, his cronies old and new, his quote-unquote kids, the questionability of his sponsors and the idiocy of what a contributor to my old haunts at the American Spectator website called The Long National Nightmare. Well, that long national and international nightmare, as of Wednesday, August the 6th, 2011, has come to a righteous close. According to a statement, the Muscular Dystrophy Association has announced that legendary host Jerry Lewis will not be back as Master of Ceremonies at the annual Telethon. Additionally, Lewis is also no longer the National MDA chairman, as he was terminated of his duties at the Arizona-based charity. Jerry Lewis is a world-class humanitarian, and we're forever grateful to him for his more than half-century of generous service to MDA chairman of the board of directors. Rodney Howell, MD, said in a statement this past Wednesday. Originally, after 45 years promoting treatment and a cure for children he called his kids, Lewis announced in May he was retiring as host of the Labor Day Muscular Dystrophy Association Telethon that has become synonymous with his name. Lewis, 85, had issued the statement through the association calling it time for an all-new telethon era. As a labor of love, I've hosted the annual telethon since 1966, and I'll be making my final appearance on the show this year by performing my signature song, You'll Never Walk Alone, Lewis said of a shortened 6-hour prime-time broadcast scheduled for September. Lewis, a Las Vegas resident, has in recent years battled a debilitating back condition, heart issues and the crippling lung disease pulmonary fibrosis. He said he'll continue serving as National Muscular Dystrophy Association chairman, as he's done since the early 1950s. I'll never desert MDA and my kids, he had said. Officials with the Tucson, Arizona-based non-profit hailed Lewis as one of the world's great humanitarians. More than $1 billion has been raised during Muscular Dystrophy Association telethons over the years, association spokesman Jim Brown said. And a national network of some 200 hospital-affiliated clinics has opened since Lewis became involved in the telethon. Lewis's first Live Labor Day weekend telethon in 1966 was broadcast by a single New York City television station. It raised more than $1 million in pledges. The telethon moved from New York to Las Vegas in 1973 and had stints in Los Angeles, before returning in 2006 to Las Vegas. Now the plan of one more telethon for the old man and his promise that he would never desert his kid is now gone with the wind, as the organizers have told the comedian-born Joseph Jerome Levitch to clean out his desk and get the fuck out, and rightfully so. Since at least 1954, and nationally beginning in 1966, the telethon has terrified millions of people with its cheesiness, pimpery and fraudulence, all anchored by an unfunny idiot of a clown man that wanted to make a movie about a circus clown who is imprisoned in a Nazi camp and had evolved by the turn of the century into a cavalcade of washed-up has-beens, no-name rock bands, and of course Lou Eyes, his bumbling multi-diseased senile ass in the waning years of his life. As I said, Jerry was never funny on camera, unless you were a Frenchman or woman with an IQ lower than 2. He has a reputation for being loud, brash, maniacally nasty, foul-mouthed, hateful towards women, a bad father to his biological children, and an overall annoying train wreck of a human being. He called his national ambassadors Jerry's kids, on the stage robbing them of all their dignity, parading them like it was the Baton Death March. My personal hatred for Jerry Lewis goes back to 1984. I wanted to watch some good old Looney Tunes, and my maternal uncle, an American from Iowa who came to visit us, and a big Rat Pack and Jerry Lewis fan wanted to watch a broadcast of his movie The Ladies' Man on our only TV. He also did this in 1987 on Labor Day, when I was going to watch a Woody Woodpecker cartoon and Uncle switched the TV from Channel 5 to Channel 9 to watch Jerry and Sammy Davis Jr. and Ed McMahon on the telethon. I was thinking to myself, what the hell is this stuff? I had a long-standing hatred of all three men since. I really don't know what people see in Jerry Lewis. He's not funny, he can't dance, can't sing, can't talk properly. He made a decades-long career out of saying, "Hey lady." He used his associations with Sammy Davis, Dean Martin, whom I never was fond of, and Frank Sinatra, who I think also is an overrated musician. He makes a fool of himself, and is the shame of his identity as one of God's chosen, the great Jewish people. Still, many boobas Americans and others globally have since poured more than $2 billion with a billion dollars. More than $1 billion of that in phone pledges. The marathon telecast was once a must-stop venue for comedians and entertainers. During the height of its popularity, the telethon featured performances from show business luminaries, including Sammy Davis Jr., Libras, The Supremes, Johnny Cash and Frank Sinatra. In the glory days of the Telethon during the 1970s and 1980s, the Telethon scored major corporate sponsorships with major American companies like McDonald's, United Airlines, and 7-Eleven, who at one time in the 1980s was Jerry's biggest sponsor, donating as much as $8 million in a single year. Today the sponsorship resembles the who's who of Obama donors and socialist sympathizers, as MDA biggest supporters included the International Association of Firefighters, led by Obama's buddy Harold Schaefberger, and the Citgo Petroleum Company owned by the government of Hugo Chávez's Venezuela. In recent decades, the event's appeal faded, with younger viewers who found the format somewhat dated. Indeed, the Telethon model itself as a fundraising vehicle lost much of its force, particularly with the rise of the Internet, which emerged as a more potent generator of donations. This can clearly be evidenced as many major charities such as John Schneider and Marie Osmond's Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, the Easter Seal Society, the Arthritis Foundation, the United Cerebral Palsy Organization, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and Variety, the children's charity, once known for their gala telethons lasting as many as 22.5 hours, all have dropped said events in the major markets beginning in the early 1990s. Also to blame is the changing dynamics of television. Once stations went off the air in the late night hours, now, to increase profits, station managers like to fill time slots with as much programming as possible. Additionally, the power of multimedia companies like Disney, CBS News Corporation, and Comcast NBC Universal, that have had increasing control of said stations in the past 20 years, have made it less friendly to non-profits that held annual telethons of the old-school variety, save for groups backed by said media conglomerates, and major stars like George Clooney, that hold current events-related telethons such as specials for the Asian tsunami and Hurricane Katrina, as well as irregular specials concentrated on stopping AIDS. The Jerry Lewis telethon's earning power had declined in recent years. According to public tax filings, the telethon brought in $56.4 million in gross receipts in 2005. But in 2009, the latest year for which records are available, the tally dropped to $45.6 million. As a direct, though unpublicized reason of this, even before ousting Lewis, the MDA was poised to scale back the telethon from more than 20 hours to as few as 6, primarily because stations were threatening to drop all or part of the telecast. As I said on my last video on this matter, that Jerry and his cohorts at the MDA often have been repeatedly saying of late that it's about the kids, not the dollars on the pageboard. I say bull funky. The numbers speak for themselves. $58,919,838 was raised in 2010, a 2.5% decrease from 2009's $60,481,231 itself, a reduction from the record in 2008 of $65,031,393. As a result, the telethon has seen pledges decrease by nearly 10%, though the economy of President Barack Hussein Osama was partly to blame. The blame is also to be put on the MDA and especially Mr. Lewis himself. Many affiliates have ended their telethons, including Reno, Nevada, Dothan, Alabama, Yuma, Arizona, Bakersfield, California, Augusta, Georgia, Rockford, Illinois, Tupelo, Mississippi, Lincoln, Nebraska, Greensboro, Greenville, and Wilmington, North Carolina, and the Tennessee Tri-Cities combined statistical area. Maybe after 45 years of Jerry's douchebaggery, maybe after 60 goddamn years, and no cure whatsoever for even one of these 40 diseases, after raising and spending $2.5 billion and little to no progress, people were finally little by little waking up to the truth that the MDA is a fraud. That's right, the Muscular Dystrophy Associations of America was, is, and always will remain a sham charity, an organization during Lewis' reign of terror that seemed to be all about Jerry and keeping his name alive, even though with every word that comes out of his mouth he continues to further discredit himself. Getting a cure for muscular dystrophy may be accomplished without the shenanigans of Jerry and his annual kiss ass fests. Apparently the MDA got the message and fired Jerry's senile ass. In my opinion, after the atrocity of Lewis's performances on the telethon in the past 3 years, the MDA got the message. Honestly, in my personal opinion, don't care about these organizations, because many of them utilize embryonic stem cell research, which is against my pro-life views, and the defense of the culture of life championed by the Lord Jesus Christ and his teachings. And to YouTubers like World Telethon, I love telethons, the Telethon channel, and especially that Riddance game show and telethon fans like James Lacerenza, a KATPIR fan 2004 in the words of the late, but not so great Andy Dunn Meredith. Turn out the lights, the party's over, now you'll get a real life. In closing, I give you this.
When you walk through a storm, keep your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never, ever walk alone. You will never walk alone. Thank you all. God bless you. Good night.
What an egomaniac. Two examples. 1. Every year he says he hopes to raise more the next year's. Why doesn't he say he hopes not to need to be back next year's? 2. Why does Jerry get top billing over the disease? Why wasn't it called MD Telethon starring Jerry Lewis, or even better yet, just the Muscular Dystrophy Telethon? With Jerry not even having billing, he seems to have, at least on script, done a lot of good. But what an ego. Not being funny. It's a scam. It's a concert ticket / firefighter / medical industry scam. They don't show the poor MDA people, and it pisses me off every year. It is so sugar-coated and upper middle class for TV. And as for Jerry calling those with MD his kids, if Jerry had paid more attention to his own biological kids, including his illegitimate daughter, who, by the way, is friends with his oldest son Gary, maybe people wouldn't question his motives. Jerry only acknowledges his daughter publicly, and doesn't mention his boys by ex-wife Patty. Honestly, the time has come for Jerry to permanently retire from show business, go back to his home in Las Vegas with his wife Sandy and daughter Darnie, sit his fat diseased ass down, and shut the fungal up. Funkin' A right, Jerry. And to Tom Drews and Norm Crosby, and all you geriatric comedians defending Jerry, you need to be ashamed of yourselves. As a friend of mine, now a Catholic priest, once told me that no one is entitled to a job. No one. And every one of you need that defender Jerry also need to retire and go to the old folks' home. Joseph Jerome Levitch. I'm gonna say what a friend of mine said to disgraced Japanese comics and animation legend Go Nagai when he devolved into a pivoted senile man. Go away, go far, far away. Seriously.
I know the feeling of all my kids tonight. They are so
I know this man is an actor,
you.
but this is more over the top than the need to
so
sexualize anime to get fan sluts to buy it.
Your nerve ends get to a place where you really can't control yourself. I am so overcome by what we have done. Because I guess in the back of my mind and my heart, if we struck out, I wouldn't know how to look at my kids. What did I do wrong? Well, it didn't have to be what I did, good, bad, or otherwise. But we're at that place now. And we have to say bye-bye in a minute. But I'm going to try to do this because I remember it by heart. For the 59th time. Go ahead, sweetheart. Do me some. Can you take the lights down, Lee? Because they are so bright, I can't even think. Please. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and this sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blow.
Sad. Pitiful. Atrocious. I can't believe this shit.
You'll never walk.
If you are going to sing the goddamn song, at least sing it in time, you old coot. No wonder the MDA fired your old ass. Get the fuck off the stage.
In your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You will never walk alone. Thank you. Good night.
Walk alone, Jerry. Walk alone, and don't let the door hit your senile ass on the way out.